I want to tell you guys about a really important lesson that I learned from traveling in between different cultures and going to a lot of different countries. Is that each culture has their own truths and lies that they tell and their own reality that they can create. And that sort of establishes what people feel good about doing and bad about doing, or like good about themselves or bad about themselves, and also what they're comfortable with revealing about their identities and stuff. So what I learned and adopted from this pretty quickly straight into my life, a quick lesson that you can learn from this is just like total honesty, making me feel way more comfortable with who I am, and like not having like social anxiety, and just starting to have life go my way more, because I'm pretty generally, other than some bad accidents, pretty genuinely fucking stoked about my life. And that really started happening for me, and I was able to let go of a lot of the like emotional baggage that I had when I realized I just wanted to just tell the truth. I just wanted to just tell the truth about how I feel, about like and what I do, and like about everything. Like whenever I'm not happy, it's because I'm lying to myself, or I'm lying to the world, like in my projection. It's like it's not true. That's what makes me unhappy. It makes like, I didn't tell people before I left America. I wouldn't say like I use anabolic steroids. So that would be something that, like, if they asked me, like, I'd say no. And also they would say things to me like, man, like, how do you get big, man? I've always wanted to get big like you. And it would be like a bagger at like a grocery store or something, right? And he would have like a really sincere look on his face, man. And I had to freaking lie to this kid and be like, man, just really try hard, man. And just work out for years, man. Watch your diet. Well, there's one missing ingredient, and that is the testosterone shots. That you gotta add that in there too, in addition to those other things. And like now, for example, I remember feeling distinctly disturbed on that specific time just now when I said that to that bag boy. And then there was this time recently when I was at Venice Beach and I was parking, and I was coming out, and the parking attendant said to me, I was walking out up into Venice Beach, and the parking attendant said to me, he was a Mexican dude, and he goes, Macho Man, how do you get big, man? How do you get so big like that? What's the secret, man? What's the secret? And I said, 3 things, man. Diet, training, steroids. And he said, and he goes, but they're expensive though, right? And I go, yeah. And I peaced out and went and did my thing at the gym over there. And I felt so good. That felt so much better. I didn't even think twice about that. But then afterwards, because of course that's what I would say to people while I was traveling, like because no one really gives a fuck. No one really gives a shit. And besides, when you're traveling, you kind of go beyond that mental experience of culture when you're traveling like for like years on end, and like you can't ever fully integrate like with another culture unless you like stay in it for like 10 years or something like that, I think. So you're kind of like in limbo, and it has this really cool effect. And so you just don't really care. It's a lot more easy to just be you and the way that you like things. Like, I like testosterone. Like, I like taking steroids. I think it makes my life better. Like that's part of the reason why I have the life that I do, is because I do that. Like it's definitely required, and you know, I wouldn't be able to get the kind of like attention I do if I didn't. And also, I wouldn't be as comfortable in some of the dangerous situations that I'm inherently in third world countries if I wasn't. And I wouldn't be able to bring you guys as good of content, because, like, believe it or not, like, if somebody is like just purely romanticizing being in third world countries, it is dangerous, okay? And like, the police and stuff like that do not work, okay? So that's not gonna, there's no, yeah, I mean, and look at my like leg incident recently. Just know that, like, it's not like America, where like, you have to have a sense of traveler's awareness that comes with time. And even still, like, the first month I was in Colombia, I couldn't, even though I have like years of traveler's awareness built up, I couldn't decipher them. Like, I couldn't read them, like their nonverbal body language, the same way that I was used to reading people. And so I felt like I had like a really fight or flight response for like a month straight. Like, whenever I was in public, basically, when I was in Colombia for about the first month, because I couldn't use that. My travel instinct wasn't up and running 100%. So I wasn't for that culture, and so I wasn't able to look at them, read their nonverbal communication, and know what they were going to do, or predict what they were going to do. So, I mean, that was really shitty when I had to be in America before, and I felt like, oh, I need to like lie. And when people ask me and they're sincere and they want to know, like, hey dude, I think it's really cool that you have like a big muscles and, you know, that body like a superhero or whatever, you know, like, I want to get that too. How can I do it? And I felt like, man, this is fucking bullshit, man. Because I felt like I had to lie, and like, I felt like I was like scared of like getting like in trouble or something like that. And also I was scared because of the social aspects of like being like alienated by people and things like that. So I mean, I just felt so much better once I was able to grow up past that, get rid of giving a shit. And then I mean, of course, like, it's funny now, you know, because every time that I like go out or I'm around drunk people or something, you know, these funny guys always start talking to me about steroids. Like, it's just, they are always confessing to me their steroid cycles while they're drunk at like at a bar or something. And they always come up to me and open me with like, you must be on trend, man, because I'm on test and EQ and DECA or something. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? And I'm like, no, man, you know what I like to use most is I like testosterone, primobolan, and winstrol. And I also like Anavar. Those are my steroids of choice. And I do not like trenbolone because it's not worth the side effects. It's not worth it. So it just feels a lot better just having that general openness. I used to have anxiety about being asked those kinds of questions, or being approached and somebody saying like that I was like on roids or something like that, right? And now it's like, it's so much not a source of anxiety. It's so much, but I can relate to how fake natties feel though. But now it's like, it's the opposite. I think it's fucking hilarious. Like, sometimes the drunk guys too that will ask me, you know, they'll come up to me and like their opening line to me would be like, "Are you on trend?" Sometimes, you know, I'll give a, you know, I never answer them directly, you know, because I mean, what kind of an opening thing is that to say to someone, you know? So I'll say something like some kind of rhetorical question, or maybe some kind of like jab, to initiate some verbal sparring, you know, just for good fun. And maybe sometimes they'll get a little bit worried, like, oh shit, like they'll kind of like realize what they did for a second right after they say like, "Are you on trend, bro?" And that's like how they introduce themselves to me. And I'm like, when I reply, sometimes if I'll say something a little you know, like maybe a little bit rude in reply or something, not that anything could be rude, I'm just fucking saying that they will they'll be like, "Oh shit, oh, I fucked up," and they'll be worried for a moment, and then I'm not mad. Of course, I'm not mad at all. I think it's funny. I enjoy it. So, a source of mega anxiety became something that I almost look forward to. I think it's fucking hilarious. When I decided to not lie about something that I do, something that is the way I am, something that I like. Taking testosterone and steroids was never something that I wanted to do secretly. It was never something that I felt like it was a bad thing to do or I was ashamed about, because I liked it. So I'm not trying to like hide that from anyone, you know? Like, it is what it is. If you don't like that, and you don't like me because of that, okay. Bye-bye. Cool. There's not really anything else to say. Freaking, I don't know why people get so wound up about this stuff. Man, you guys have got to like leave the country, man. You guys gotta leave the country and experience some freaking mind-numbing, mental, cultural experiences. Serious. I'm serious. So now I've just noticed that in general, whenever I have like anxiety or any feelings of like I can't sleep at night, or you know, I feel really upset, or I'm really confused about a situation and it's driving me insane. Usually it's just about me needing to just be honest about exactly what it is I'm doing, or exactly what it is that I'm trying to say, or my intentions are, or whatever. And then as long as I'm okay with that, and I'm not trying to like hide that, as long as I'm like truly comfortable with exactly who I am, what I think, how I feel, I can pretty much like share that with anyone at that point. Like when I feel that way, like I can just say it to anyone and be like, yeah, and like the outcome doesn't matter at all. It's just like, it's who I am, you know? Like, it's like, it doesn't matter how, like, that's not going to change, you know? Like, I'm like born me. There's only one me, and it's not going to change. So it's like, you know, there's going to be people who like me and people who don't like me. And, you know, I can't change that. It's just the cards are falling the way that they are, and I'm me. So it's, doesn't matter how like prestigious or how famous or you know, how poor or how you know, not famous or, you know, not prestigious, whatever. It just it doesn't matter to me. I like truly don't give a fuck, because I'm me and I'm gonna act the same all the time to anyone. And if I don't, then it's because I was screwing up and I'm not being like honest to myself again, because I'm not like identifying with my true opinions. And that would mean that I like made a mistake or a lapse in judgment and let like a society and culture's pressure make me like maybe get my lips, you know, like 72 inches within kissing someone's ass, which really sucks because I will not kiss anyone's ass under any circumstances. So 72 inches is like, whew, it's a close call, brother. That was a close call. Be completely honest with yourself. Be completely honest with your opinions, and be open to sharing them with everyone, regardless of their status, regardless of who they are. And you will no longer have conflict within your mind. Your mind will be cleared of conflict and pain, and you will be at peace, and you'll be free to use your mind and your mental energy to pursue the things that are your dreams and your fantasies, the awesome things that you think about, that you dream up. Wow, that would be cool if things were like that. Wow, that would be awesome if I was doing that. Wow, I wish I could do that. Wow, if I was that guy, wow, I would be living the life. Wouldn't that be awesome? All those thoughts. Those are the thoughts. Those are the thoughts that those of you guys who have the destiny to have the killer instinct to go do it. You're gonna make your thoughts reality, not just for you. Those thoughts that you dream up in your head, your dreams and your fantasies won't just be fantasies anymore. They won't just be fantasies for you. They'll be reality for all of us, because you'll be doing it, you'll be living it, and it'll be plain to see.